YouTube viewers. Guess is kind of on his bullshit. So whatever he kind of does back here, we might have to pause here and there. But we're rolling. Three, two, one. Yo, yo, yo! What's going on, everybody? It's Jacob Compton here on Compton's Corner. We had a couple technical difficulties on Tuesday. We had to figure, again, preach this. We're new to this, but at the same time, we're growing, we're learning, and we are rolling. First things first, we had quite a weekend in the NFL season. I wanted to address on it a few other times, and we weren't able to, obviously, because of Tuesday. But let's get right to it, honestly. We'll even dissect the matchups going on this weekend as well. But from last week, man, it was kind of a disappointment, if you ask me. All those blowouts that we had. Um, it's just a damn shame. 'Cause, usually those wild card weekends, we really look forward to those. Those are actually sometimes the most exciting games we get. It's that those first round of anything. It's like wow, wow, wow. NCAA, NBA, NFL as well. So to have five of those six games be decided by 14 or more points, that was quite a surprise. But it does seem like we have some intriguing matchups this weekend. But again, we'll dissect what we had. So the Steelers and Bills. I mean, out of all those games, man, the Steelers fought the hardest. That's for darn sure. Damn sure. Um, I think God bless Matt Bauman, man. He's a good guy. So we'll get to our little new promo code I got for you guys here at the end. But back to the Bills and Steelers. Man, I just think I'm not going to blame the referees in that game at all by any means because it's just you gotta show up, and if you lose by 14 points, you never really want to put it in the referee's hands. But nonetheless, I thought they fought hard. Out of all those teams that got blown out, the Steelers they got it done. They fought the hardest. The whole rumors of Tomlin getting fired or maybe leaving himself seem to have gone away as of yesterday. Reports are that first report was that he was no longer, or I apologize. The first report was that hey, like if he's gonna leave, it's gonna be on his terms, and he decided yesterday that he's gonna stay, which is the smart move. That's the Pittsburgh Steeler way. I think they've had what three coaches since maybe like '66. That's insane. That's consistency. That's the Rooney family. That's what they do. They like to keep everything clean in house. I mean, shoot, that Matt Canada firing was the first in season firing for them since about the '60s. So um, that's just the Steeler way. Good for them. Uh, but nonetheless, they one and done. They weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs. Props to them. I think you almost got to consider him. If it wasn't for D'Amico Ryans, I think Mike Tomlin's your coach of the year. But um, Bills, they're primed. They're at home. That's going to be an interesting thing. Mahomes' first road playoff game. So for the Bills, though, they look good. They look good. That's what you're supposed to do to teams that you're better than, though, and they are better than the Steelers. So good for them. We got the Eagles and Buccaneers too. I know I'm going all over the place when these games were and everything, but Eagles and Buccaneers. So I don't want to say it's exactly how I saw it because I didn't see that kind of domination by the Buccaneers because it seemed about until that second quarter, the Eagles were still in it and they had a chance. But yeah, no, the Buccaneers pretty much just put their foot down on their neck. And yeah, the Eagles have a lot of answers to or questions to answer this offseason. And they're still an intriguing team. They're quite of those ones. That's a talented team too. Very, very, very talented. But we'll just have to see what they can get done. 'Cause, they need to make a move. I was talking to some Eagles brethrens, and it seems like they want to maybe get rid of like the Fletcher Coxes, the Brandon Grahams, as much as they've been so good to the locker room and everything. You got to really start integrating these younger guys more. Uh, believe what's his name, the Jordan Davis kid, big guy that they got 2 years ago. He's been playing great, and then Jalen Carter this year, the Bears passed on. He starts his first week off one of the greatest rookie performances of all time. Then he graded into the low 60s certain games. So it's just you got to find that consistent balance, but you got to keep him consistently in that lineup. as much as rotation helps and everything, there's some guys that could just dominate 60 minutes of football, and that's what his that's what his report was coming out. So I would think they're going to want to get into that. They got to fix that secondary. They do have big play Slay. Yeah, at times you're going to get picked on. You're going to get beat. Oh, no play Slay. Now that guy's a good corner. So they have pieces, but nonetheless, the rest of that back end of the secondary is just not good. So they're going to have to answer that. And then honestly, Jalen Hurts has to play better. He does, and maybe there was just too high of expectations, but I think maybe the little bit of that Super Bowl loser curse maybe needs to come into effect. I forget what it is, but over the last, I think maybe 15 years or so, whoever has lost the Super Bowl really doesn't have a good chance of making it back or anything. I guess unless you're the Patriots, but shout out to them, I guess. Um, Rams and Lions. That was the game of the weekend, actually. Props to Jared Goff. I mean, even as the NFC North rivals and everything, you got to root for Detroit. You have to root for Detroit. That's awesome. That Ford Field was absolutely electric too. That was nuts. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely so loud. College atmosphere like, playoff football like. And for a city that hasn't seen that in a very long time, it was awesome. And that don't I just can't imagine that stadium looks like it's built to just be loud as shit. So awesome for them. Dolphins Chiefs, that was about as predictable. That was probably my best prediction. I was telling people all weekend. I'm trying to find it on the Hard Rock app. -14, Kansas City. Like Jacob, you're crazy. Vegas is crazy for having the line at 4.5. It was teetering around 4, 4.5, 5. I'm like, that's so respectful to the Dolphins. And for my Dolphins people, I'm not trying to hate. It's just everything was against the Miami Dolphins. This that in that game. Just the weather, um, Waddle being he was just a decoy at that point. And when you're a decoy in football, you're just a waste of space. You need to put guys out there that can actually perform and can actually help the team. And no disrespect to Jalen Waddle, but at that point, you're no help. So didn't and then Tyreek Hill, he wasn't much of a factor other than that long catch. The offense just didn't show up. And there was certain play calling, but they can roll with the momentum that they've had over the past 2 years. You got to give Mike McDaniel's props. I think I saw one person, maybe like on Twitter or some X, should I say, um, say, "Oh, McDaniel needs to go." Are you shit? Like you haven't gotten that spoiled, have you? I get like, oh, yeah, and didn't beat a winning team. That's just the next step for next year. You only beat the Cowboys, at least the only team over 500. Look what happened with them too. Get to that. Um, but yeah, the Miami Dolphins just need to kind of just go take it slow still. I mean, it sounds like they're going to sign Tua, re-sign him. I don't love that. I don't think he can throw the football very well, but biased. Nonetheless, he's got a good offensive system around him, so something can work. Something has to work too, because those fans, I hear them. They're in our backyard. They're annoying, but at the same time, they want a winner. They haven't had one in a long time, and I don't dare say they deserve one, but whatever. Browns Texans. That was I waffed that one. I actually had the Browns winning. I had them covering. It was only two, but nonetheless, yeah, it wasn't. That was pitiful on their end. Top defense, my ass, because Texans. Let's actually talk about them. We won't be pessimistic. The Texans, man, that's a huge win. I know those awards are voted on in the regular season, but D'Amico Ryan's Coach of the Year. I mean, that just should put the nail in the coffin. Um, if it goes to somebody else, they're just going to look like idiots. So that's going to be pretty funny too. But nonetheless, what a job he's done. Worst to first like that. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. CJ Stroud's the real deal. That's Ohio State's first legitimate quarterback that they've had ever. And that's good to see. It's awesome. They got a that actually we'll dive into that in a second. But the last game, yeah, the fucking Cowboys. I'm going out watching that game. I have a cowboy hat in the closet. I said, okay, let me put this on. I don't really have cowboy boots or anything like that, but I got a pair of Tims. If I put those on, like I got the height advantage then at that point. That's pretty cool. Excuse me. And I was just ready to show out for the Dallas Cowboys. I really was. And I was hoping like, hey, they would do the same in return. Nope, absolutely not. Dak Prescott, pitiful. And it's one of those things. They're locked into him. This is what I warned the Miami Dolphins about. Like, hey, they signed him like that shit. He's already looking for another extension, I believe. They signed him, and look what it's brought him. You're not going to want that 4 years from now. So the Dallas Cowboys, they absolutely made me sick. I'm not even going to mention the other team at this point. I was going to dive into them. I'm not gonna. They're playing the 49ers this weekend. Let's just know that. 49ers have their number, per usual. They usually had number 12's number, though. So it is, I guess, as we transition to the next week's matchups, that team versus the 49ers, the spread as of right now is 9.5. I don't love that, obviously, because the other team just, they're fighters, but cheesehead wearing douchebags, if you ask me. But either way, it is what it is. They're a good football team. Honestly, they're scary. That's what I feared them playing the Cowboys. I preached that the Cowboys played the Saints. It would have been a lot easier of a game for the Cowboys, but they ended up playing that team, and that team went in and throttled us. So I'm not giving any props to them. Fuck them. You got to play the Dallas Cowboys. Good for you in the first round. If anything, they should be thanking their lucky stars they got to do that. But the 49ers have been legitimate all year. They need to stay legitimate. Let's not let this, it's resty. No, it was rest. It's a bye week. This is what you play for is that bye week, that home field advantage to play the seventh seed if they end up beating the two seed. You have that opportunity. Get the job done. Beat those cheesehead cocksuckers. And then, so the Texans and Ravens, we were just talking about CJ Stroud there. Lines at 9.5, same as the other game. Uh, the public's hammering. I just saw something on Bleacher Report yesterday that the public is hammering the Texans point spread. I'm a big believer in fading the public, so I advise all of you to do the same. But nonetheless, forget gambling. The Ravens are and have been playing like the best NFL team, especially over the past 15 weeks. But it's the postseason. We're in a new season. And at that point, it's different. And CJ Stroud's legit. And because a lot of, you got your college tape, you played plenty of that, but a lot of teams haven't played him. And if they have, okay, maybe he learned off of you. That's what it really seems like, even with like the Cleveland game. So, we're gonna have to watch that game. All games are intriguing, but that game, I don't know if it. I'm just gonna do it because I fade the public. I'm not confident in hammering the Ravens minus 9.5. I think the Texans can cover that. And shit, they could win that ball game. One after that is the Buccaneers and Lions. Buccaneers are running hot, and as a Florida man, I gotta say go Bucks. I do. I will be picking them in that game. One of those things that, as much as again, I said earlier, I got love for Detroit. Happy for them. They're frauds, obviously, because we beat them. We beat the shit out of them. So, and that's what I think it'll come to terms with on Sunday. That's right. Yeah, Sunday, 3 o'clock. So, um, yeah, go Bucks. They're gonna get it done. Baker's gonna wake up feeling dangerous. That defense is so underrated too. They've kept a lot of those guys, even from that Super Bowl run. They were young as hell then. Now they've just when you grow into your own in your prime, you become a champ. Like, I don't know Tom Brady. God bless Tom Brady. The things he did for so many people. You see that interview with Gronk and Edelman? It's like, oh, Tom, thank Tom because he fed us. Without Tom, there's nothing. That's just really what probably, I don't know, maybe like 65, 70% of the league should be saying. Oh, damn. Thank God for Tom. But nonetheless, Bucks, I think, pull off that game. And then the Chiefs and Bills. That should be the game of the weekend. Should be, but we'll see. I got the Bills winning it. Shit, it's only a 2.5 line, so I would even take the point spread on that. I get it, it's Mahomes and everything, but the same thing, the reason why the Dolphins fans were believing they could beat Mahomes and everything last week, all those reasons they had. Now we could use those for the Bills. The Bills can use those reasons because they're at home. They have their full arsenal. They're not, depleted or anything like that. So I think the Bills win that game. They take advantage of a Chiefs team that has not been the same Chiefs team all year long. So, um, We will have to see. That wraps up those. So I guess that's the Texan or no, I'm sorry. I got the Ravens, 49ers, Bucks, Bills, which would make a Ravens versus Bills matchup in Baltimore, and then a 49ers and Bucks matchup in San Fran, if Jacob is right. Uh, I, that still just looks rough. Bucks and 49ers. But, hey, maybe the lines can, well, probably wrong. Who am I kidding? I'm being a little biased. I don't want them to win. I want them to win, but I don't. Because it's like, are the laughing stock of our division, and it sucks when you lose that. Quite honestly, before 2017, that's what the Philadelphia Eagles were for a long time. They're just the laughing stock of the NFC East. They got that Super Bowl though. They're just always getting unlucky. But they got that Super Bowl. Look what they did to the fans. They're obnoxious. They're awful. Most of them, about 90% of them, they're just terrible people. City's terrible too. So it's just it be what it be. Uh, but oh man, it's so fun. I love the playoffs. I really do. NBA, man. We had some good couple things happening in the NBA too over the last week. There's actually some terrible. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but an assistant coach for the Warriors passed away. Uh, Pretty sad stuff. We're gonna stay away from that on this show, but nonetheless, our thoughts and prayers goes out to the Warriors and even just the NBA community. I suppose he had a big impact on a lot of international players, what they were doing and everything. So that's just awesome. And it's sad to see him go. That part's not good, but know how to do death, so we'll just leave it at that. Magic are depleting again. We talked about that earlier. The Celtics are rolling. Siakam. That's right. Shame on me. Siakam went to the Pacers. Pacers are the fifth seed right now. Getting him. I've always seen him as like a borderline all star. The type of guy that he can give you 35 like 8 times a year, and that's about it. But um, other than that, nonetheless, he's still like borderline. He's going to give you 21 consistently. He's going to give you 8 and 5, 8 rebounds, 5 assists consistently. So it's a good pick. Halliburton's just a beast, though. So I mean, giving him another weapon there, that's just huge. Good for them. We'll have to again keep an eye on that. Uh, I really actually don't have too much on NBA. I'm going to get right to the point of why I do this for them. So the reports are that the Bears' current list of interviews for offensive coordinator, according to Adam Jans, is Shane Waldron, Clint Kubiak, Liam Cohn, Greg Olson, Greg Roman, Thomas Brown, and Marcus Brady. It's good stuff. I really like that Greg Roman guy. He did a good job with Lamar. They let him go. I felt like a little too eh. Then right after that, they went depleted, and then all of a sudden, boom! This year, he's got his new OC. It's worked out good for Lamar. But Greg Roman always did a good job with him. I just wonder what this offensive coordinator is going to walk in and do. Are we going to give him the power to automatically decide, hey, we're choosing a quarterback. We're gonna do this. We're gonna da 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 da. It's an offensive coordinator. So at that point, he's no head coach. He doesn't get to make those calls. He's not even close to a team president at that point. Team president might not even know his name. So I just really wonder, like, hey, are they going to walk into the script? Hey, we're keeping Justin, or hey, be prepared that we're going to take a quarterback. I don't know. And for an offensive coordinator, and as intriguing as that the Bears are this offseason, I just got to wonder, man, do you really want to take that job? Especially if you are, I don't know, maybe somebody's like Fields. I don't want him. Okay, well, you're going to give him that much right and control over to say that. Like, I don't know. It's just, it reminds me of Blue Mountain State last season where they bring in that offensive coordinator and he just hates Alex Moran. And it's just like, I feel like that's what's about to happen. Um, but we will, I'm not too thrilled about that. That team again is so intriguing. I've seen so many damn mock drafts and whatnot too, and I'm not here for it. any of them because I just want the Bears to do the right thing and just do their research. I will support the front office with whatever they do. Oh, but they're gonna piss me off with something. I've even bought into the idea of Caleb Williams Odunze, the kid from Washington. Really want Marvin Harrison Jr. though. That'd be the best move. And I think just that's where it's like next year we'll see. Hey guys, I gotta take dog out. We're gonna take a quick pause real quick, but I will be right back. Cool cat. Oh, we're back. Sorry about that, crew. Dog, I told you at the beginning, or at least the YouTube viewers know. He was gonna be a pain. He was whimpering. He wanted to get out of the studio. So, um, other things in life, I suppose. Let's see. I'm gonna just go over just our top news, current events, and everything. Goodness gracious! I mean, this. Who would have thought that this? I'm not talking about the death. I'm just not doing that. Did you just do that to show us your cat screen? So I don't know if the cat screen. To answer to you, Matt's board. Thanks for viewing. I don't know if that's like a basic thing on Twitch. Again, still learning, but I mean, look at it. Be right back, cool cat. That's you as hell, Matt. So I think, yeah, I did just to show us your cat screen. I did. I haven't had the opportunity to, so I felt like it was a good time to. Why not? Jeez Louise, interrupt the live broadcast. I actually, at this point, guys, I don't have too much. I bitched about the Bears. I told you what they need to do. I gave you my preview for next week and everything. Well, we'll have to see. I'm going to try and go live again. If anything, a bruise, anything big, a bruise. We're going to try and go live again as soon as possible. Again, we will have a schedule up and everything. We will get everything all coordinated. I love doing this, so it's so fun. Thank you to anybody that's viewing live. Thank you to anybody that's subscribing on YouTube at Compton's Corner 95, at Compton's Corner 95 on Twitch as well. So, any of you that's on YouTube watching this, even making it towards the end, get yourself a Twitch account. There's so many cool things that you can stream on there and whatnot. Just gaming, sports, all that. I'm podcasts even. It's such a great resource and it's such a cool thing. So, um, I will say that again, we got a couple shout outs now. We're growing, like I said. Again, we got our one from the start. StewardOriginals.com, 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 and you could use promo code DuckCorner23 for 20% off your order at StewardOriginals.com, StewardOriginals.com, StewardOriginals.com. You got to say it 3 times. Make sure you're here, but you only got to type it in once. Um, And then it's just a shout out to my people from Stuart. They're good people. And then Zay Incorporated, my people where I work. Otherwise, he does the best detailing in Fort Pierce, man. If you need to have your car detailed, better than nobody. He does his best days on Sunday. It's a free day. At that point, he'll do it up at the St. Lucie Draft House for you too. My boy Zay, he gets it done, man. And if you have any interest in that, you please just you can DM me, just contact me in any way you can. YouTube, I'm no I'm no person that deals with my fame. I deal with my fame well, so it's just I respond back to all my people, man. I want you guys to all have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend of football, basketball, golf, whatever you decide to watch. There is actually a ton going on. Nonetheless, from my end, I need to just even make sure that everything was working again. We are rolling. Got a new camera set up. Again, we're gonna add more props and everything. But thank you guys for tuning in to Compton's Corner. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.